Okay, let's unpack this. Um, how many times have you felt that little knot in your stomach when facing a menu in English?
Yeah.
Wondering what to say or how to respond.
Yep.
That moment where ordering even a simple glass of water feels like navigating this linguistic maze,
Yeah.
and suddenly your English feels like it's gone on vacation without you.
Oh, absolutely. It's an incredibly common feeling, really, one that so many language learners experience. But honestly, mastering this one specific skill, confidently ordering food, asking questions about the menu, simply navigating those restaurant conversations, it profoundly transforms your travel
Yeah,
experiences.
it really
And
does.
it can even make everyday interactions in an English-facing environment so much more enjoyable, turns potential stress into, well, genuinely delightful moments.
Absolutely. And that's precisely our mission today. This deep dive is all about giving you the confidence, to walk into any restaurant and engage like a local. We've poured through some fantastic source material that breaks down every single step of the dining experience, making it incredibly accessible, even if you're just starting out.
Yeah, and by the end of this deep dive, you'll discover that those previously daunting moments will just, well, they'll click into place for you. You'll learn how to order food naturally, ask about dishes without hesitation, understand what your waiter says, and use all the essential phrases for various restaurant situations. It's really about building practical fluency.
We're covering it all, from the very first greeting as you walk in to asking about the menu, understanding the waiter's questions, all the way to confidently paying the bill.
Hmm.
And even those subtle but crucial cultural nuances like small talk and tipping. We're going to equip you with the full toolkit. So you're ready.
Let's do it.
All right, let's get started.
Okay.
Let's begin at the very beginning. That first interaction when you step inside a restaurant. Seems simple, right? But it can often feel like the first hurdle. The waiter will almost certainly greet you with a friendly, "Hi, how many people?" Or maybe "table for two."
Mm-hmm. Standard stuff.
Yeah, and I vividly remember a time I was traveling solo,
Mm-hmm.
and for some reason that simple "how many" completely threw me. My mind just went blank. I was searching for these complex sentences when really a simple answer was all that was needed. But once you know these straightforward phrases, it becomes effortless.
And that's the beauty of it. Your
Mhm.
natural responses are incredibly straightforward and, importantly, universally understood. You can simply say, "A table for two, please." Or, if you're dining solo, "Just me, thank you."
Simple as that.
Simple as that. And what's fascinating here, and quite important for cultural understanding, is why these phrases are so direct and yet so polite. Adding that simple word, please, isn't just a nicety. It instantly signals respect for the person serving you and for the service interaction itself.
Right.
In English-speaking cultures, this sort of softening of language is deeply ingrained.
Mhm.
It transforms a direct request into more of an invitation, makes the transaction feel collaborative rather than demanding. It's efficient, it's clear, and it's highly courteous.
That makes so much sense
Right.
because it really does smooth the way for the entire interaction. Think about it. If you're a solo traveler, just me, thank you, it's perfect. If you're with a group, it becomes a table for four, please. Or maybe we need a table for six.
Exactly. And you can vary the number easily.
Or if you're the one initiating the request, maybe it's busy, you can confidently ask, do you have a table for number? Like, do you have a table for three?
Yes, that works perfectly too. And sometimes you don't even need the words right away. Often the waiter might even gesture towards a table or hold up fingers to indicate party
Oh
size.
yeah, the nonverbal cues.
Right, which takes some of the pressure off. These visual cues are super helpful, especially if you're feeling a bit nervous initially.
Okay, so you smoothly navigated the greeting. You've got your table. You've got the menu in your hand. You know exactly what you want to eat. But how do you actually say it? How do you voice that order without sounding demanding? That direct, "I want," isn't quite right in English, is it?
No, it really isn't. And it's a very common learner mistake that can come across as abrupt, maybe even a little impolite in a service setting.
Right, a bit jarring.
Exactly. What's crucial to understand here is the nuance of politeness embedded in everyday ordering phrases. Instead of a direct, "I want," which implies a demand, natural phrases like, "I'll have the chicken sandwich, please," or "Can I get a large coffee?" or perhaps, "I'd like the pasta with tomato sauce," are far more appropriate and polite.
Okay, so I'll have, can I get, and I'd like. Let's break those down a bit.
Sure. "I'll have" implies a decision you've made, and you're ready for the service to be initiated. It's quite confident, but still polite with the "please," "can I get?" is framed as a polite request. It acknowledges the waiter's role in bringing you the item. It's slightly more tentative, maybe. And I'd like the contraction of I would like is also very polite and common, expressing a preference.
And these really connect to the cultural expectation of service, don't they? Where politeness just facilitates a smooth and pleasant interaction for everyone involved.
Precisely. It sets the right tone from the start of the ordering process.
Okay, let's put these into practice a bit more, because the more you hear them, the more natural they'll feel. Okay, imagine I'm the customer again, and you're my very patient waiter. I'm ready to order. I'm feeling hungry.
All right, I'm ready. What can I get for you today? Or perhaps, are you ready to order?
Yes, I think so. I think I'll have the steak, medium rare, please.
Excellent choice. Steak, medium rare, anything to drink with that.
Yes. And, it's been a long day, so.
Oh.
Can I get a glass of your house red wine with that?
Absolutely. One house red coming right up. And see, that's exactly how you'd use I'll have and can I get seamlessly in one order.
Yeah, it felt quite natural, actually.
Exactly. I'll have is perfect for your main dish, a clear declaration of your choice. And then can I get worked perfectly for the drink, a polite request for something additional.
Right. And I'd like is also incredibly versatile, isn't it?
Mm.
Especially for those little additions or modifications. Like maybe I look at the steak description and it comes with fries, but I want something else. I could say, I'd like a side salad instead of fries, please.
Perfect use case. Or perhaps for dessert later on. I'd like the chocolate cake for dessert, please. It gives you so much flexibility to customize your order politely.
Let's think of more examples for each. Maybe I'll have the soup of the day, or I'll have the fish and chips.
Good ones. And for can I get a glass of water? Very common. Or can I get the burger but with no onions, please?
Right, for modifications. And I'd like my dressing on the side, or I'd like to start with the calamari.
Exactly. These phrases also subtly manage expectations for both you and the waiter. They implicitly state that you are ready to order, which helps the flow of service. It's all about creating a smooth, efficient, and polite transaction. It greases the wheels of social interaction in that setting.
Okay, that makes sense. But what if you see a dish name you just don't recognize? Or you have specific dietary needs? This raises an important question. How do you get clarity without feeling awkward or like you're being a bother? Because, it's always better to ask than to be surprised.
Oh, definitely.
I once, somewhat bravely, ordered something called Chef's Surprise at this tiny cafe, thinking, oh, this will be fun, a delightful mystery.
Uh-oh. I sense where this is going.
Yeah. Turns out the surprise was a very generous helping of liver, which, let's just say, isn't exactly my culinary passion.
Oh, dear. Not the surprise you were hoping for.
Not at all. And a simple, what's in the chef's surprise, would have saved me, and probably the poor chef, a very awkward moment later on.
That's such a great and slightly painful anecdote, and it perfectly illustrates the point. Polite inquiry phrases are your absolute best friend here. Don't be shy. You can ask very simply, what's in the chicken Alfredo? Or the more general, can you tell me what's in this dish? Pointing to the menu item.
Okay, so what's in the menu, or can you tell me what's in?
Exactly. If you're concerned about spiciness, is this spicy? Is perfectly acceptable and very common. Waiters get asked that all the time.
And maybe how spicy? Like, how spicy is this?
Yes, you could ask that too. Or is it very spicy?
Yeah.
Now, if we connect this to the bigger picture, clear communication here is not just about politeness or even just preference. It's about your safety, especially with allergies, and ensuring your meal is genuinely enjoyable, not, an unwanted liver surprise.
Absolutely. And when it comes to dietary restrictions or allergies, being clear is crucial. It's not just polite, it's necessary. You really have to advocate for yourself. So you can say something like, does this have nuts? I'm allergic.
Very important. Be direct and clear. Or, is this dish vegetarian?
Yeah.
Or is this vegan?
Right. And if you need a modification, can you make this without cheese? Or can this be prepared gluten-free? Is the way to go.
Most restaurants nowadays are quite accustomed to handling these requests, especially in major cities. They want you to have a good experience.
Okay, let's try another mini scenario. Expert. Imagine I'm at a new Thai restaurant and I see a dish called Tom Kha Gai. I like coconut soup, but I'm allergic to shellfish. How would I ask to be sure?
Okay, that's an excellent real-world example. You could say, excuse me, what exactly is in the Tom Kha Gai? That opens the door.
Wow.
Or, to be more specific about your concern, does the Tom Kha Gai contain any shellfish? I have an allergy. Being direct about an allergy is really the best approach.
Good. Clear and direct for allergies.
Definitely. Or, if you have a strong dislike for something, like Some people I know simply despise cilantro.
Ah, yes, the cilantro debate.
Right. You can absolutely ask, does this dish have cilantro? Or can I get this without cilantro? Waiters are used to these questions. Seriously, don't hesitate.
Great advice. Always better to ask. Okay, so you've asked your questions, you've made your choices, you've placed your order. Now it's the waiter's turn again. Shifting our focus to active listening is key now, right? Understanding what they need from you to complete your order or clarify something.
Exactly. They might come back with follow-up questions. A very common one right at the start or after you order food is, would you like something to drink?
Yep. Or if you've ordered something specific like a steak, they'll almost certainly ask, how would you like your steak cooked?
Mm-hmm. Essential question for steak lovers. And for many dishes, especially in North American restaurants, do you want fries or a salad with that? Is a very common question about side dishes.
A classic side dish choice.
It is. And this brings us to a compelling observation about common pairings and assumptions. Waiters often offer standard sides, fries, salad, maybe mashed potatoes because they are popular choices, but you always have a choice and they expect you to make it. Sometimes there might be other options too. You just need to listen or perhaps even ask.
So let's prepare some responses. For drinks, a simple, yes, I'll have a glass of water, please, or if you're all set, no thank you, I'm fine for now, works perfectly.
Yep. Or could I see the wine list? If you haven't decided.
Good one. Now, when it comes to steak, knowing the doneness scale is super helpful for clarity. Can we recap that quickly?
Sure. It generally runs from least cooked to most cooked. You've got rare, which is very red and cool in the center. Then medium rare, which is warm with a definite red center.
My personal favorite.
A popular choice. Then medium has a warm pink center. Medium well has just a hint of pink left. And finally, well done, which has no pink at all, cooked through.
So, knowing where you fall on that spectrum helps you reply confidently. Medium rare, please, or well done, or whichever you prefer.
Exactly. For sides, you might just choose one of the options offered. I'll have the fries, please. Or if you prefer a healthier option or something different, you can ask, can I get a side of vegetables instead? Or are there any other side options?
Right. You can sometimes substitute.
Often, yes. Knowing these common questions and their expected responses will truly help you feel prepared for almost any restaurant conversation. Even if something slightly unusual happens, like a waiter maybe offering dessert before your main course arrives, perhaps they misheard or there's a mix-up,
That could happen.
you can politely but firmly clarify, oh, not yet, thank you, maybe after the main course. Just listen for those keywords like drink, cooked, side, or the word or, which signals the choice. That active listening really empowers you in the moment. You anticipate the question and have your answer ready.
Okay, fantastic. So the meal was delicious. You've eaten, you're full, you're satisfied. Now it's time for the final act, getting the check. Or the bill, as it's known in many places.
Yes, check is very common in American English. Bill is more common in British English and elsewhere, but both are widely understood.
Good point. So the waiter might prompt you by asking, would you like the check? Or perhaps anything else for you? Which implies, are you finished and ready for the check?
Or, can I get you anything else? Coffee, dessert.
Right. And your responses are quite simple and direct here. You can signal you're ready by saying, can I get the check, please? Or could we have the bill, please?
Yes. Or, if they ask anything else and you're done, you can say, no, that's all, thank you. Just the check, please.
Perfect. Now, what's fascinating here and incredibly important for travelers is the whole tipping culture thing. It varies so much globally.
It really does. In places like the US or Canada, it's customary, even expected, to leave a tip for the waiter, typically about 15 to 20% of the bill total before tax.
15 to 20%. That's quite standard, isn't it?
It is. And this practice is deeply ingrained in the service industry there, largely because service industry wages often rely on tips as a significant portion of income. It's just how the economic system for restaurants works in those countries. The tip isn't just a bonus, it's often considered part of their expected earnings.
That's a critical point to understand. It's not optional in the way it might be elsewhere. It's part of the social contract, almost. And you can politely get the waiter's attention, maybe make eye contact and slightly raise your hand, or just wait for them to pass by and say, excuse me, could we get the check whenever you have a moment? It's a very common polite phrase.
Yes, whenever you have a moment, acknowledges they might be busy, but signals your request.
But here's the interesting part that highlights those cultural differences. If you're in Japan, for example, tipping is actually not common at all.
Correct. In fact, it can sometimes even be seen as rude or confusing. Good service is simply expected as part of the price you pay for the meal. Trying to leave extra money can sometimes cause awkwardness.
Wow, quite the contrast. What about, say, Europe?
Yeah.
It seems to vary there, too.
It does vary widely across Europe. In some countries, a service charge, servizio in Italy, service comprise in France, might already be included in the bill. If so, an additional tip isn't usually necessary, though rounding up the bill or leaving a small extra amount for exceptional service is often appreciated. In other places, like the UK, tipping is common, but maybe slightly less percentage-wise than the US, perhaps 10–15%. Germany is often about rounding up, or 5–10%. It really pays to check locally.
So the key takeaway is, do a quick search before you travel.
Absolutely. If we connect this to the bigger picture, being aware of these cultural norms shows immense respect and helps you avoid awkward situations or even unintentional offense. Before traveling to a new country, a quick check on local tipping expectations, just search tipping and country name, is always a fantastic idea. It's a small act that demonstrates cultural sensitivity and smooths your interactions. You might also ask your hotel concierge or a local guide if you're unsure.
Great practical tip. Okay, so we've covered the mechanics, the phrases, but now let's talk about something that overlays all of this. Politeness. It's not just about knowing the right words, it's about the delivery, the tone. In English-speaking cultures, politeness is paramount, isn't it?
It really is. You can have all the right phrases memorized, but without that polite tone and sprinkling in those magic words, it can sound a bit stiff or even unintentionally rude sometimes.
Yeah, tone is everything.
That's spot on. A simple please and thank you aren't just polite, they're essential social lubricants. They significantly improve the overall interaction. They convey respect for the service provider's effort and, well, their autonomy. Think about the difference between give me a coffee versus can I get a coffee, please?
Worlds apart.
Exactly. The second one immediately softens the request and builds a tiny bridge of goodwill. And when someone helps you, brings your food, refills your water, answers a question, a warm thanks so much, or thank you, I really appreciate it, goes an incredibly long way. These phrases are about connection, not just mere transaction. They acknowledge the human element in the service.
So my advice would be, if in doubt, add a please or thank you. You truly can never be too polite in these situations.
Agreed. It's almost impossible to overdo politeness in a service context.
You can say a quick thank you. When your drinks arrive, thank you. When your food is served, thanks when they clear your plates, thank you when the bill comes. These small acknowledgments create a much more pleasant and human atmosphere for everyone involved, for you, for the waiter, even for other diners nearby.
And this brings us to another fascinating aspect of dining in many English-speaking countries, particularly maybe the US, UK, Canada, Australia. Small talk.
Ah, the small talk.
Yeah. This raises an important question about the role of social pleasantries in these interactions. It's not necessarily about launching into a deep conversation, obviously, but it's often about a brief moment of connection that humanizes the transaction and builds rapport. Waiters are often encouraged, sometimes even trained, to engage in this kind of brief, friendly banter.
Yes. This is where it gets particularly interesting for some listeners, maybe a bit uncomfortable at first if you're not used to it.
Yeah.
In American and British culture especially, a brief, friendly chat with your waiter is pretty common. The waiter might start with something simple like, how's your day going, as they pour your water.
Or maybe check in mid-meal with, how's everything tasting? Or just a simple, how's everything?
Right. And it's just a quick acknowledgement, isn't it? A friendly nod, not usually an invitation to tell your whole life story.
Exactly. Your responses can be simple and brief to, how's your day going? You could say, it's going great, thanks. How about yours? Or just, good, thank you.
Okay. And to, how's everything regarding the food?
Everything's delicious, thank you. Or it's great, thanks, it's perfectly fine. If there is an issue, that's also an appropriate time to mention it politely. But if all is well, a short, positive response is standard.
Let's try it. Expert, you're the waiter, checking in mid-meal. I'm the diner. Enjoy my pasta.
All right, checking in. How's everything tasting for you today?
Oh, it's wonderful. Everything's absolutely delicious. Thank you so much. This pasta is amazing.
Great to hear. Perfect. You see, you don't necessarily have to elaborate beyond that unless you want to share a specific compliment. It's simply a polite and brief reply, perfectly sufficient, especially if you're shy or simply focused on your meal or your dining companions. It builds a little rapport without demanding much from either party. It's just a micro moment of human connection in the midst of the service transaction.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. It's about acknowledging the interaction pleasantly.
Precisely.
Wow, we've covered a lot of ground. So what does this all mean for you listening right now? It means you are now equipped with the phrases, the strategies, and the cultural understanding to confidently take on pretty much any restaurant in an English-speaking country.
Yeah.
We've covered confidently ordering, asking intelligent questions about the menu, no more liver surprises, understanding what the waiter might ask you, navigating payment and tipping, and even those crucial social cues like politeness and small talk that make all the difference.
And remember, practice truly makes perfect. These aren't just tools for theoretical knowledge, they're for real-world application. Use them. The more you use these phrases and engage in these simple interactions, the more natural and comfortable they'll become. Each time gets a little easier.
Absolutely. All right, so here's your challenge for today. We want you to put this into action. It's a 3-step challenge. Step 1. Imagine you're at a restaurant, maybe your favorite one, or one you'd like to try. Practice ordering a full meal drinks, maybe an appetizer, main course, and dessert out loud. Really visualize the waiter, the menu, everything.
Talk it through.
Step 2. Record yourself saying it out loud. Just use a quick voice memo app on your phone. Listen back. How do you sound? Do you sound confident? Does it flow? Don't judge too harshly, just notice.
Yeah, hearing yourself is a powerful tool.
And step 3. Try using at least one new phrase from this deep dive when you order food this week. It doesn't have to be a fancy restaurant. Even if it's just ordering coffee, maybe use "Can I get a vi" instead of your usual phrase. Or at a fast food drive-thru, try being extra clear with "I'll have the." It all counts.
Absolutely. Embrace the learning process and celebrate those small victories. Every polite please you remember, every clear question you manage to ask, every successful order. It's a step closer to true fluency and genuine real-world confidence.
Definitely. And hey, in the comments below this deep dive, tell us what's your favorite dish to order in English. Or what's a phrase from today that you're excited to try out next time you're eating out? We genuinely love to hear about it.
Yeah, share your experiences. And maybe a final thought to leave you with. Think about this. While the words themselves give us structure, right? They allow us to convey our literal message, I need food, what is this? But it's really the combination of those words with politeness, with confidence, and with an awareness of the cultural context that truly makes your experience flow. It invites not just a transaction for a meal, but potentially a genuine, pleasant human interaction. How else, beyond just ordering food, can understanding these subtle cultural norms unlock deeper connections and richer experiences in your daily life?
Oh, that's a great question to ponder. It applies to so many situations, doesn't it? Such a great thought. Okay, well, tomorrow we'll be diving into another super practical topic. How to ask for and give directions in English, another absolutely essential skill for navigating any English-speaking environment. Definitely don't miss that one.
Looking forward to it.
See you tomorrow. And until then, keep talking, keep practicing, and enjoy learning English.
Bye for now. Take care.